What up, y'all? Welcome to Gobi Games. I'm your host, Gobi. How y'all doing? It's been it's been a bit. Been real life kicking my ass. But hey, you'll have that from time to time. Um, so yeah, let's get right into this. I'm gonna talk about some other stuff later in the podcast, but I've been going back playing some other games and whatnot, and I want to talk about some of the things that I played this week and whatnot. Um, First, a couple things to talk about. This one isn't gaming related, but it it's probably worth noting. Most of us probably use a password manager, um, and that's generally a good idea. However, if you're on Android and you use LastPass, if you use LastPass, period, you might want to start looking for an alternative. They're making some changes. The free only tier is going to have to choose between mobile only or desktop only. If you want to do sync between the two, you got to pay the premium. And the Android app contains 7 trackers from third-party companies. Um, yeah, I don't know how deep I want to get into this, but this security researcher, did this on his own. But the 7 or whatever are Apps Flyer, Google Analytics, Google Cache Crashlytics, Google Firebase Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Mixpanel, and Segment. Now, a couple of these I could explain away, but why does my password manager need access to any of these? And yeah, it was a little weird. I'll link obviously the article in the description so you guys can read through this and check it out. Um, there are it should be noted that there are other password managers that do use trackers. Bitwarden has 2, Roboform and Dashlane have 4, and 1Password has none. Um, yeah, but yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk about. That was generally probably something that should be brought to people's attention. All right, moving on to gaming news. So I'm a huge fan of Dying Light, and been praising them for putting out content for the game to this day. And for the most part, it's pretty decent content. Um, I enjoyed it, so I'm not gonna fault them too much for that. But apparently, there's been a pretty uh, it doesn't look good at Techland. From reports, it does not look good. Comments like the fish rots from the head. Um, yeah, just bad language. Period. Um, One of the developers, when discussing the modern Dark Ages, blurted out at least they knew how to deal with women back then. That person was intervened from HR, and it seems he was reprimanded, but to what extent? Um, this isn't good. All right, this is all bad, and it's why basically Dying Light 2 has had an indefinite release date when it was pushed back in January of 2020. Um, yeah, it's just not. It's disappointing. I mean, in hindsight, not super excited about Dying Light 2 because I'm pretty sure they have taken out firearms. And I don't get me wrong, I enjoy hack and slash and Dying Light, but it comes from the Dead Island series, and there's always been the gun wielding person in the series, and you want to leave all the other ones but take that one out. That irked me a little bit. I'm not saying I won't buy the game and I won't play the game, because I'd be lying to you. It just probably won't be a day one purchase whenever day one decides to be. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, the biggest thing is it seems like they brought in other managers and whatnot to try and do things like other companies, and they get shot down by the CEO. And then they hired this guy that came from Kingjuin, which is a PC key reseller or whatever. He used to run that, so they pulled him in, and people basically don't think he has what it takes to do the job. So there's not a whole lot of love for leadership at Techland right now, and and that's obviously work environments. You know how they are when leadership isn't as well. In this case, I mean, it's almost like hated. It feels like, and they say he has a laser focus on CD Projekt Red. I don't know if I mean, I get it. They kind of boomed up to success and whatnot. But yeah, they got their own problems right now. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about Cyberpunk later in the podcast. But yeah, all in all, I was very disappointed to read this about Techland. It's, like I said, I mean, the Dying Light, probably my favorite zombie shooter or zombie game. I made it into a zombie shooter because it's fun. But yeah, disappointing. Now, the next piece of news is also disappointing. I mean, I never got into these games, but I do know that they're pretty well liked games, and I thought I heard this one was, being looked forward to. But I'm talking about Vampire. Oh my god. I seriously almost said Vampirina. I'm sorry. I got girls. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is delayed indefinitely. And Hardsuit Labs has been removed as the game's lead developer. Yeah, I mean, obviously Paradox shared this news via Twitter, on their official website, adding that Hardsuit Labs will no longer be leading development, but offering no explanation as to why this is happening. Disappointing to see any game be delayed indefinitely. Hopefully this gets sorted out and they get it, a release date for the game. Now, let's talk about EA for a minute. Alright, well, maybe more than a minute, but I found this interesting. So EA is prioritizing Battlefield and delaying Need for Speed. So they are trying to push hard to get Battlefield out. I'm guessing we're talking that Christmas season, when Battlefields usually come out. This Battlefield has been rumored to be back in the modern era, almost a remake of Battlefield 3. At this point, I think I'd much rather have a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3. I did really enjoy it. I may have enjoyed Battlefield 4 more, but that was just because, Domination was one of the core maps, so, the player pool was bigger. And, they just... movement improvements and stuff like that were slightly better than Battlefield 3. But hey, I mean, if those improvements were in Battlefield 3, I would probably play Battlefield 3 over Battlefield 4. Um, I just preferred. I mean, I played. If you saw me playing Battlefield 4, I was probably playing Metro or Locker. I mean, those were the two maps that I kind of mained. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. If Battlefield 6 is in the modern era and it doesn't look like crap, I will get it because this is. I've been waiting. I haven't bought a Battlefield game since Battlefield 4. Like, that was the last one. They went Battlefield Cops and Robbers. I tried the beta for that, and some of the game modes were interesting. I just did not like how they implemented it, so I decided to skip it. Wasn't my cup of tea. And then, yeah, they went back to older eras, and I'm just not a fan of those at all. But, yeah, and I get them pushing Need for Speed. So hopefully it's been delayed into 2022, but hopefully it's not delayed too far into 2022. It's basically what they're doing is they're pulling. I'm so gonna butcher this. Citron Games, and they're pulling them from the Need for Speed and putting them on Battlefield 6. I have a feeling this is, again, due to COVID and them trying to get Battlefield out the door this year, which I kind of hope it's good because I'd really like to play a Battlefield game again. Yes, I would. So the other part of EA news is Anthem, or Anthem Next, as it was being called. While back, they, obviously announced this, and when they did, I was glad. I was like, you know what, this is a game. I enjoyed the story. All right, I'm one of the few. Whatever. I enjoyed the game mechanics. I enjoyed the story. I still haven't made it to end game yet, so, but I can start to see, where it's getting complaints and stuff. But Anthem was always a tale of two games, like the first story missions and then end game. I enjoyed the game, the story, the lore, the suits or abilities. That was all fun and cool. So I was actually looking forward to Anthem Next and seeing where they decide to go, and plus, I mean, it was like being Iron Man. I mean, it was the closest thing to being Iron Man as you could get at the time. It's been canceled. It sucks. When I heard they were debating this, not the history, the future of Anthem Next, and that was going to be decided this week, which would have been last week, I was pretty sure they were canceling it, but they just threw in the towel. So that sucks, but at the same time, I get it. Now, EA is also pledged to give studios more reins over their games, so, like Titanfall, Dragon Age. So we'll see what that does, and see where they can go from there. Still kind of disappointed about Anthem Next, but I guess I'll leave it at it. Alright, so the next part of the news was brought up by Sophie, and this is a little bit old, but I found it funny, because I've complained about Call of Duty patches on the PC for a while now. It's ridiculous, guys. I mean, come on. And I even talked about how it couldn't even fit on a 250 gigabyte SSD on the PC anymore. Well, now, according to Eurogamer, Activision warns a standard 500 gigabyte PS4 may no longer fit Call of Duty Warzone, Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare. So you're gonna have to choose. Ouch. It's a little bit crazy. Now the good news is you can modify the installation, so if you don't play the campaign, you can delete the campaign. If you don't play multiplayer, you can delete multiplayer. I do that on PC just to keep the download size down because, I mean, these patches, like the last one that came out for PC, was 45 gigabytes. Now, what's strange about it was it actually only downloaded like 20 gigabytes of data, and it moved a bunch of files around. Which, so if you brought up an interesting question about why does a 17 gigabyte update need 100 gigabyte free space? The only way I can figure it out is the way they move their files. It's not the most efficient way, but it's probably the best way for their whatever. It's still odd. It really is. And yeah, yes, this modern era. I mean, I think we could. I mean, I get it if they're all like, if you have 4K packages installed, but let us opt into 4K textures if we want them, because some people don't play at 4K. Just saying. Alright, so that was that. I mentioned Cyberpunk earlier, and obviously we all know about the CD Projekt Red and them getting hacked and their source code source code getting leaked. They issued a bunch of DMCA takedowns on Twitter for people releasing the Gwinnett code. And here is the first bit of what we're going to see is fallout from that hack. So they originally they wanted to deliver patch 1.2 for Cyberpunk. I believe it was supposed to go live like this time period. They didn't give a release date. They just kind of was mentioning this area. But that's been pushed back to the second half of March. They're saying because of scope, some of the other things that have been said is some of these people have been locked out of their computers at CD Projekt Red, and if they were working from home, they had to send their personal rigs into the CD Projekt Red so they could go through them, whatnot, and see if they had any malware, whatnot, which obviously is slowing down the development process. So yeah, it sucks. I get it. I could probably throw hate at them, but I mean, they got hacked. They didn't bow. You know, now they're cleaning up the mess. I'm just hoping they keep putting out patches. I'm sure they will. And eventually Cyberpunk will be the game that we all dreamed it was going to be. I swear. Yep, we got this. So this week, obviously, last week, Outriders demo came out, and I talked about it a little bit on a podcast. But I got to play it some. Well, actually, I got completely lost in it most of the weekend, at least on Friday. That was most of the weekend, by the way, because, yeah. It was fun. I played the Devastator and the Pyromancer so far. I liked the Pyromancer. I mean, it had some, it fit my playstyle, I say, a little bit better. The Devastator, it was fun, don't get me wrong. Super enjoyable class. The whole, I'm gonna, zoom out and then jump anywhere I want on the map and kill somebody, that part was pretty cool. Yeah. So I got a couple more classes I need to check out. I think Trickster is going to be up next. I've heard good things about that. Uh, Definitely kind of looking forward to that class too. I mean, it's time warp, so that might be interesting. It's yeah. Um, but before like the demo and stuff, people are, even me, comparing it to like Destiny and stuff. And in reality, the only thing I saw in the game from Destiny was the inventory screen. Like, it wasn't a complete ripoff of Destiny, but I mean, it was, you know, it definitely got some. It took some inspiration from Destiny, we'll call it that. Otherwise, I got a Mass Effect feel from the game. I really did. It was more of like a co-op Mass Effect game. Almost in the veins of like Andromeda, like you're going out or trying to find a new star system, and the only difference is you crash land on this planet. Um, it's so don't look at it as an MMO. Think of it more as a co-op game that you can play, or a single player game that you can play co-op. Um, Other games are like Remnant from the Ashes, so um, it's co-op, but it's not a shared experience. So only the person who is leading it is it's their story or whatever. it's it's been getting good reviews from the GS staff. Pretty much everybody's been enjoying it. Huge feature with crossplay. Now, one of the things that has been brought up about this is voice chat. There's no voice chat in the game. So how do people connect to one another when on voice? We haven't come up with a good solution. I mean, PC to Xbox is obviously easy if you use the Xbox app, but anytime there's a PSN user, it throws a little monkey wrench in it. I mean, in the past, I know for other games we've used Discord, but then that requires the PlayStation person to use multiple earbuds, and that can get, it's not the greatest experience. We'll just put it that way. So yeah, hopefully they figure something out there, or hopefully the main game has voice chat in it, and this is just a demo issue. That's what we're gonna hope for, right there. All right, we're gonna hope that the main game of Outriders has voice chat built in, because yeah, just for this reason, just for the crossplay reason. Yeah. So I did some, and obviously I'm gonna move on. It's morning. I know it's early, but I was searching around Steam, and I noticed a game on sale in the same single player game with co-op. Homefront: The Revolution is like $4, I think, something like that on Steam. This game is not great by any means. The co-op is actually quite fun. It's the single player. It's like Far Cry Philadelphia, as it's been called a couple of times, which I laugh at, but it's pretty close. It's kind of like a Far Cry game, except for it's set in Philadelphia, taken over by North Koreans. You can upgrade your guns and stuff like that. I mean, it's got some cool aspects to it, and like I said, it's like $4, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm just getting there now. Computer's being slow. Yes, it is $3.99 with all of the DLC. It is $8.78. this is obviously American. Um, like I said, it's for that price. It's hard for $4. The DLCs they are what they are, but I don't even think I own them. Um, just the base game co-op is for $4. It's good enough. Um, Obviously, if you're on PC and you haven't jumped on the Valheim train, you need to. I mean, it's a good game. It's I've really been enjoying it. Everybody I've talked to has been enjoying it. It's yeah. Obviously, I played a little more Division because why not? I did jump into Destiny 2 for a little while. Um, that was fun. Yeah, I do enjoy the new power bows. Still pissed that I can't upgrade uh, my one power bow, but I did hear that sunsetting is being removed at some point, and crossplay is coming probably later in the year around August, which is disappointing, but only disappointing because it's going to take so long to get here. However, Division 2, if you're listening, it gives you a chance to jump on this whole crossplay game before you get left behind. Just saying. I mean, I'll still be faithful and play you, but just please don't get left behind. It'd be really nice. Please. Thanks. Um, yeah. I hope you guys are going to have a good day. I know I'm going to do my best. We'll call it that. But till next time, we'll catch you later, y'all. Peace.